Hello viewers, this is Saurav from Tax Accountant, and thank you. We are getting good support for our website and our YouTube channels as well, and you like the videos that we producing. So in continuation to that video today, I want to cover a topic of liquidation. This is happening quite a lot right now in many parts of the world, and especially in New Zealand as well. Now, I want to cover today what is liquidation and what happens when the court appoints a liquidator or when the liquidation is initiated by the creditors and stuff like that. So be with me for next 5 to 6 minutes. I'll tell you what I have learned in last 15 years of my career in terms of liquidation. So what is liquidation? So liquidation is simply, think about it, is solvency. So solvency, to explain that your assets are less, liabilities are more. So example, the money in your bank account is $1,000 and money you owe to people is $9,000. So there is a mismatch. You know what I mean? So you have less money in your pocket, but you owe more money to people. Now this is you, then it's personal. We're not talking about personal here. We're talking about a company here right now. Later on, I'll just touch base onto personal part. But company, let's say company. So company has more liabilities and less asset, which means it's technically insolvent. Solvent is you got more asset and less liability. Understand? So this is the one basic criteria. The next time when you're looking at the financial position of the company, the balance sheet, you got to look at it. It's got more asset or more liability, which where it's facing. And shareholder current account is very well, there's a lot of ambiguity in that where it sits. But let's not get too technical in that. But you just look at overall picture. Okay. So what happens into liquidation is you also need to know about this company, the New Zealand Insolvency and Trustee Services. So you might be watching it other parts of the world. If you are and you need some advisory services, do contact us, because I do understand the business concept side of it, and I can certainly assist if you require any assistance there as well. But this is the stuff I'm talking about. But whichever part in the world you are and whichever tax jurisdiction you are, very similar concept will be there as well. So this is what we have in New Zealand, is the New Zealand Insolvency and Trustee Services, ITS. Now what the hell it is and what it is. So be with me, I'll explain you what it is, who fund this organization, and what does this organization do. So what is Insolvency and Trustee Services? So there is a Ministry of Business and Innovation and Employment, okay, MB. It sits within that organization. It manages bankruptcies, liquidation, no asset procedure, and some debt arrangements. So think of it, this is a public service. This is not a private entity. This is a public services, is funded by the ministry itself. So this is a government service who manages individuals, bankruptcies, liquidation for companies, and insolvency procedures, no asset procedures, and stuff like that. So this is this. Now, who is funding? Like, who is giving money to this? Like, if my company goes into liquidation and the court says this, they will do the liquidation. So who's actually paying for it? Because when you voluntarily put your company into liquidation, you have to appoint a liquidator. You have to pay someone 8,000, 10,000, 20,000, depending on the complexity of your business. But in this case, who's funding it? Is it a free service? Yes, it is a free service. It's funded by the Crown. So Crown fund this, and also whatever recovery the organization make on its own. So both are the funding sources for this organization. So there is a government funding, which is a MB Crown portion, and there is a recovered estate fund, what the organization is recovering on behalf. So this is the two source of the funding. So if any money is received by the official assignee, is usually paid from the estate before creditors are paid. So for example, if they recover $10,000, they will pay themselves first and then the other creditors. So they themselves will be always paid first. But if they don't get any recovery, that's fine. They're funded by the Crown anyway. So this is how this works. Now, who pays them if there is no recovery? So let's say company goes into liquidation. There is a debt of $500,000. And they are the one who's appointed as a liquidator. They come on board, they do the recovery, they don't recover anything. They waste their time, money, energy on that, and their bill is $15,000. Who pays them? There is no recovery happen in the company. But to maintain the system, to maintain the integrity of the country, regulatory bodies and the business side of this, there has to be organization who will do this kind of work. So they are the one who's doing it, and actually the government is actually paying for it. So look at the data. In 2026-27 official assignee funding, there is about $22 million has been funded to them. They also made their own recoveries. So they also made a recovery for about $12 million. They managed to earn some money for them as well. But largely, they are funded by the crown. This is how the funding is happening to them. Okay, now, this is the funding part, which you may or may not be interested in. But let's say if your company goes into liquidation, what happens then? So this is what's happening is behind door. Under Section 241 of the Companies Act 1993, the High Court will appoint either a named private liquidator or the official assignee. So the type of creditor do not decide the outcome. So whether it's IRD, bank, or anyone who's doing this liquidation. But remember one thing, about 8 to 9 out of 10 liquidation are initiated by the tax department. So they are the one who's running the whole industry of liquidation. They are the one who are always paid last, because they are the one who don't give you call all the time for the repayment, and they are the one who don't take any security over your business. Bank, financial companies, they always lend you money and they give money and take security, whether your house, whether your assets, they always have security. So they will be the one who always paid first. But IRD don't do anything like that, and they are the one who's always paid last. That's why they are the one who always initiate the liquidation processes. So in this case, if IRD has initiated it, they will ask who wants to be the liquidator. Okay, so this is how court does this. Now, what happens before the hearing? So this is very important. So before the hearing, a notification goes to the court that we want to do the hearing. So a creditor such as IRD will file a liquidation application to the court. Hey, we want to do the liquidation. Step number 2, before the hearing happens. So hearing happens 6 weeks from now. Before the hearing happens, the creditors, which is IRD, will approach the licensed liquidator practitioners. They will send the application to everyone. Like basically, we're asking everyone who wants to be the liquidator of this organization, and the practitioner, who is the licensed liquidator practitioner, will have to accept in writing that yes, I want to be it. Then the creditors, then it goes to the court that this person wants to be the liquidator. Then court will say, okay, liquidation done, and this person has been appointed as a liquidator. If no one accepted, we have this organization anyway, which is a crown funded organization, which is a default organization, which will be appointed as a default. But how they will decide, how these guys will decide that who wants to be the liquidator or not? Basically, what they're looking at, how juicy it is. So basically, they're looking at what is the recovery chance. They will do very high level initial assessment. They will look at their company's registered records. They look at securities, known asset, business activity, creditors information. They look at possible recovery, shareholder loans. They'll do all sorts of assessment themselves, whatever they can do it on their own. And why they will accept it? They'll accept it if they think there is a chance of recovery, voidable transaction. Voidable transactions, you can do some Google search on that. Basically, what they're trying to say, whatever you have transferred that money to their creditors is void. You have to pay back to me, that kind of arrangement. if the applicant can put upfront funding, yes, I want to pay you, which is the private liquidation when people do voluntary liquidation. So they themselves are paying about 10 to 20 grand to them. Let's say do my liquidation, upfront funding coming to them. And the company may have some cash available to them, valuable asset available to them, then they will do it. Also remember one thing, and within 25 working days the liquidator have to file a report of liquidation. So basically it's a commercial arrangement. If you look at an overall picture, they look at it, okay, if there is a chance of me getting paid, I'll take this liquidation, but if there is no chance of me getting paid, I'm not going to take this job. So that's what is happening in this particular circumstances. And if there is no one is taking away, then it's a default liquidation anyway. So this is what I wanted to share with you, how the court appoints a liquidator and what liquidator look into the company and how liquidation happens, that sort of stuff. So key takeaways mainly here is it's a government service which is controlled by MB, and it's funded by public money, offset by any recovery they can make from the fees and estates where funds are available. When there's no funds are available, that's just a cost anyway to start with. And if there is no asset available, of course, public funding is coming. Public funding will make the system running. And the court will appoint whether a private liquidator or official assignee. So if someone has accepted it, that person, or a default, which is official assignee. And a liquidator is usually approached before the hearing. So before the hearing, a liquidator has, behind the closed doors, have already agreed to being the liquidator of that company. That's about it. Any question, you can contact us. Our numbers are there, and the email is there. Happy to offer our help and assistance. We have a lot of experience in handling that kind of problem and situation, and we have helped a lot of businesses coming out of it. If you don't believe me, you can see our Google reviews as well. And yeah, happy to help if you have any questions. Thank you very much.